Hey backyard gardeners, how's it going today? Now there's lots of videos on YouTube about pruning tomatoes. That's very true. So I'm not gonna sit here and talk about how you prune tomatoes. I'm just basically gonna prune mine and you could take from that what you want. This particular one here is Lava Flow, which is a pretty cool heirloom tomato. It is indeterminate, which means it's going to grow like crazy, so I'm going to put a cage on this right away as soon as I'm finished trimming it. The fruits are yellow and red bicolor, and they're sweet, fruity, and juicy with a little tinge of acidity. So always looking forward to these kind of tomatoes coming through. So as you can see, it's very windy here today. But this tomato has started to slant over, so once I do put the cage on it, I'm gonna kind of stake it and get it straight and righted properly. So I'm gonna start at the bottom. The worst thing you can have is leaves that are gonna touch the ground, because that's how bugs from the soil get up into the plant itself. This one's not quite touching, but it's certainly going to soon. So we're gonna trim that off. And then there's no need for this guy. You know, we want all of the energy to go to the plant itself, right? So we got another one down here we'll take off. And you'll see here, this guy over on this side, I don't know if you can see that very good, but it's got one coming out from the middle. Roses do the same thing. And this is gonna like end up with another branch, but that branch is probably not gonna do very well, right? So I wanna keep the main energy here and then let the plant grow up a little bit. So I'm just gonna take this one off, including the little branch on the side that's coming off, whoops. And the same is true on this side. I got the same thing. So basically I'm just making a nice long stalk, because this will inhibit bugs from getting on the leaves and climbing up from the soil down here. So I'm probably actually also going to take off these two little suckers, or whatever you want to call them. And then now we'll target the growth coming from about up here. Already got some little flowers, that's exciting. So that is my trim on Lava Flow, and I'm using nice sharp little micro cutters to get a nice sharp cut so that the plant is not suffering at all. And then also, this is one of my water from below containers, so I've just started watering from below. And also you'll notice that every one of my water below containers is on casters, and that's so that I can move them in and out of the sun. This is handy in the months of April when I'm not getting full sun everywhere in the yard, so I can make sure they're getting as much sun as possible. But also when it comes to be like July and August, when it's like 100 degrees in LA, you don't want your tomatoes out there baking all day long. Plus this plastic gets hot. The soil gets hot in August, so it's nice to give the plants a bit of a break. When it comes to August and July, it's best if you actually put burlap around the edges. So that kind of keeps the sun off, and because you don't want to bake the roots in the bottom when they go down to drink. And also you can also mulch on top. Put like the, what do you call those? You know, redwood chips or whatever chips they make. I don't think they make redwood anymore, but cedar chips. Put cedar chips on top. It's also nice to occasionally work your soil a little bit with your hoe, because this is hoeing with Dawn, right? So anyways, that's the trim off of Lava Flow. So our next trim today, Sunday, April 18th, is Aiko. That is the Japanese olive-shaped cherry tomato that I mentioned to you. As you could tell, it's gotten a little droopy, so I've waited too long to cage it, but we'll fix that today. So we're just gonna do exactly the same thing. Pop off these 3 sets of leaves on the bottom, which probably should have been done a little while ago. As you can see, this one here, see how low it is to the bottom? So, like in like a week, this will be touching the ground. So there's no point in leaving it there. Might as well just take it off. These are getting pretty thick. So yeah, now I'm just gonna stake that and we'll see how it goes. I see some little bugs on here. Maybe my praying mantises got eaten, so they're not doing their job. Here's a little guy coming out. I'm probably gonna pinch that because that's just gonna go that way. So I kind of want it to start going up a little bit. Yeah, so that's Aiko. If you remember, that is the Japanese little olive tomato. Very prolific. It's always been super leggy for me. This is like the 4th or the 5th year I've had it, so I've had it almost every year. And it always gets like completely insane. Like it just grows all over the place. The vines are never thick, but it doesn't really need to be because they're just cherries, right? So there's usually like a bunch of maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 little olive cherries hanging off each branch. Oh, like you're right here. Here, you see it right here? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there'll be like 9 of them. And I don't know if you could see that, but if you look really close, you'll see I've already lost like 3 blossoms fell off here. And I really have no idea why that happens. I have noticed that on some of my other plants right here. You know, that happens to me every year. I don't know why the flowers fall off like that. They just like break off. I don't think it's a pest because it's like almost too early for that yet. So I'm not sure why that happens. If anybody knows, love to hear it in the comments. This is our 3rd trim of the day. This is Marzano Fire. It is a sauce tomato, and they grow nice and long, almost like pears. And I had this plant last year, incredibly prolific. I had it in the raised bed though, not a container. This year we're gonna try the container. It was also thin and leggy in the raised bed, so I'm suspecting a very similar experience here. It was incredibly prolific, wow. But you'll see I got lots of leaves touching the bottom or the soil, so those are all gonna come off and then we're gonna cage it. So I'm gonna do that off camera. You don't need to see that again. Also, I wanted to show you that for Marzano Fire, I'm also getting a little bit of blossom drop here. It's on the very bottom. See the 2 missing blossoms up there at the top? So I don't know what that is. These ones look nice and healthy, and these ones look healthy, so it certainly can't be for a lack of nutrients, but the next time I fill in my water from below, what I'm going to do is add some extra nutrients, and I'll show you when I do that. All right, everybody, so I'm finished caging everything. I did 4, and as you can see, these guys are in my driveway. You can put tomatoes anywhere. The reason they're in the driveway is because the dogs love the organic fertilizer that I use, and they stick their nose in there and eat it. So these go in the driveway until about May, when the plants have consumed all that organic fertilizer, or maybe it loses its deliciousness, I don't know, and the dogs don't seem to care anymore. So they'll go behind the fence. Or maybe I'll leave them out here. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. They just grow. So this is Aiko. As you can see, I don't know, it's just gotten a little crazy. I don't know whether I cut it wrong. I'll have to go back and look at a previous video. But I've got it, I've used this Velcro tape to sort of train it. And notice how I've got each leaf that's long enough through the trellising part. You need to make sure that you train the tomatoes to kind of go up, and you don't want those leaves to droop, or at least I don't like them to droop. So these all have 4-foot cages on them. I would say all of these plants will get the next level of caging, which is another 3 feet, probably in another 3 to 5 weeks. And they will extend beyond that, and I expect these to be anywhere from 7 to 9 feet tall by July. So this guy here, this was Marzano Fire. I just put one on there in order to get it to grow nice and straight. I'm sure that that'll come off in a few weeks once the plant gets moving. Same with Lava Flow. You see Lava Flow's stalk is getting nice and thick, so that's awesome. And then this little guy, Sunburst, I just planted him, I think last weekend. But I figured I might as well throw the cage on there now while I was at it. And this is a little cherry, super, super sweet, 1/2 ounce fruit. So yeah, these guys will be like 8 feet, 9 feet tall in a month or two. Thanks for listening, backyard gardeners. Keep growing.